I'm Don, welcome to my channel. Today we're unboxing, building, and reviewing this plastic model kit of VOLTES 5 from Bandai. Bandai produces great plastic kits, especially Gunpla. But should you get one of this VOLTES 5 kit? I, hmm, I say no, and I'll tell you why. Oh, by the way, if you like Gunpla or plastic model kits, you should check my daughter's channel, Nico. She produces a lot of Gunpla stuff and tutorials, and she's very active at the competition level of this hobby. GreatToysOnline.com sent me this kit for review a while back, but it kinda took me a while to really build or open the box and build it. Simply because the box is small, and I was wrong. When I built the model, it was fairly good size. Before we proceed with the video, a quick shout out to GreatToysOnline.com. I think they ship worldwide, but definitely they've been like a store for so long, more than a couple of decades, like 20 plus years, and they've been supporting my art, especially my Gunpla way back when I was active in Gunpla. GreatToysOnline.com has a great collection of figures, toys, and model kits, and you should check them out. Now, the box being small is packed with stuff. Like it has a couple of instruction manuals and quite a number of runners. The first manual is for the actual building of the kit, of the plastic kit, and the second manual is for the transformation. Because this kit, you could do it in three modes, like the bigger vehicle, you combine all of them, or the five vehicles, or the actual Voltes 5 combined robot. It took me roughly around 4 hours, maybe 5, in the building of this model. But I did not really clean the cut marks or the knob marks so much. I did not use a sandpaper. I just used my red grass nippers, and I use a two nipper technique wherein I use the more sturdy nipper to cut from the sprue and the single edge nipper to cut near the pieces so that I have a clean cut. Sometimes I clean it up with my art knife, but not so much. I was really surprised that a few parts like the face or this chest part are pre-painted. Like I haven't really built a gunpla that has pre-painted parts. The painting is fairly good. It's clean enough, but of course it can be better. There are quite a few runners, which is a bit surprising because if you look at the box, it doesn't really seem like you'll have or you'll need a lot of runners or a lot of parts. As you build the model though, as you build it up and finish it, all the parts make sense. This kit is not labeled as a master grade kit. I think this is a high grade, but again, it has very good color separation and some parts come pre-painted, which is super cool. The quality of the plastic feels a little softer than the usual Gunpla kit. As usual, the plastic itself, the material, the colored parts, the darker blue and the reds, are a little bit more brittle than the white parts and the yellow parts. The dark blue parts are the most brittle, not brittle that it will break easily, but it's just a little bit more brittle than the rest of the parts. Brittle parts are easier to clean with a sandpaper, wet sanding, instead of trying to have a really clean cut with your single edge nipper. As expected from Bandai, everything snaps perfectly. But I have to warn you that the dark blue parts, they tend to be a little bit more tighter. Also, the joints like the gray parts going to the white parts or gray parts going to the other colored parts are kind of tight. So be careful not to force it too much. And I think Bandai intentionally did this so that you could play with the model once it's finished and it won't loosen up so fast. The movable parts like of all the stuff in this plastic kit kind of like moves the way that it should, and it's not very tight, especially parts that needs transformation. To be honest, I have no intention of painting this model. It looks good already. You can see the color separation and it looks nice even with the unpainted parts. Maybe I would panel line a few of the parts or whatsoever, but as of now I have no intention of painting it because I'm not really sure if you guys, my subscribers, would want me to paint a plastic model kit that is not like it's not miniature. As usual with Bandai, some parts, there are some extra parts like wheels and some like small parts that you could attach with display stands, especially for the flying vehicles. And there are like, you get four hands, so you get options. And of course, you get a couple of like sword hilts so that you could attach it on the chest, and the other hilt, you could hold it like you could put it on the hands or in the hands. So that's very usual for Bandai, having like option parts so that you could display or play with this model a little bit more. Now I said at the start of the video if you should buy one of this kit, and I said no. And here's why. The main reason why I told you not to buy one of this kit is because I think you should buy two. So, seriously though, you would want a couple of this kit because the vehicle mode is super cool to play with. It's super cute, it's nice to display, especially if you have display stands for the flying vehicles. Now, the second kit, you should like display it or play with it in robot mode, like the whole VOLTES 5 robot mode. It's super nice too. It's very nostalgic. But again, I highly recommend you get a couple of these kits because the vehicle modes are so beautiful. Now, the second instruction sheet tells you how to transform the vehicles, and the transformation is very straightforward. You have to remove like a few of the parts or replace them with a different colored parts, especially like the ear. It is white in vehicle mode, but you have to replace it with red parts for like the head mode. Also, you have to remove like the small parts, that is the gray parts, that is used so that you could use these vehicles or the models with a display stand. Other than that, the transformation is super easy. Way easier than transforming your Zeta, if you know that kit, the Gundam Zeta or Zeta Gundam, especially the version 1, the older kit. This one, the transformation is super fast, super quick, and kind of smooth. Like there's no like really tight parts during the transformation. Oh, also I said that you should be very careful with the dark blue parts when you're assembling the model. But once it's assembled during the transformation, it doesn't seem to like there's no issue whatsoever, like there's no very tight parts unlike during the assembly. Like I said earlier, should you should have a couple of these kits because the vehicles are super awesome in their own. Like on their own, they look super cool. I am a bit sad as I transform it to robot mode, but still happy I can always go back and transform them into vehicle mode. Now everything snaps really well, except maybe for the waist part. Now the chest part, you should like move the head a little bit away from the chest part because the back of the head is going to bump like the part of the chest. But other than that, it snaps really nicely. However, the waist part, you should like make sure that it snaps really well, meaning all of the rotating parts, the transformation parts are in place before you snap it together. But once you snap the waist together really nicely, it's very tight, it's very steady, and it's super fun to play with because all of the joints are working perfectly and are not loose, and it doesn't seem like the joints will be loose soon. It's like they designed this so that the joints are can withstand playing of this kit. And although I don't really play with my kit, I just display it. I don't even post it too much. There's no like, I just like it standing on the display cabinet. But the joints on like the ankles, the waist, and the knees are very sturdy. The knees are extra good. They're very not very tight but very solid, and I'm sure it won't loosen up in time. Now, like I said earlier, as usual with Bandai, you get extra parts, you get a couple more hands, so you get 4 hands and a few other parts. And you just keep this and decide on how you will display this model kit. It has been so long since I built a model kit from Bandai, Gunpla, or whatsoever. And I must say that I enjoyed building this so much because it just took me like around 4 or 5 hours. And I'm really happy with the build. Like with the model, it looks super good. Now, before our final thoughts, I would like to thank all of you guys, my viewers. The channel is growing, and of course, my patrons. And special thanks to Army Painter for making this video possible. Like I said, you should get a couple of these kits. The vehicle mode is super cool. It's super fun to display, not fun to display, fun to play with, and looks cool to display. Actually, if you can like buy 3 of these kits, I'm not really sure how much they are, but if you could buy 3 or just 2, you could paint the other one, and the other one is unpainted so that you could play with it. The painted kit, don't play with it because you'll scratch off your painting, and like it will ruin the work that you did with the kit. But if you have another one that is unpainted, you could transform it and then go back to vehicle mode and robot mode and have really good fun with this model kit. I was really surprised with the articulation of this model kit. Like you could see the foot, the ankle joints, and the knees. The knees are really good, unlike other Gunpla kits. And like the hip joints, I thought it's kind of limiting a little bit, but it's not because it has a really well designed joint. You could pull it down and like do a really like dynamic poses with it. The waist is good. It doesn't tilt down or up and down or not forward and backward, but it rotates really nicely and smoothly. And that was surprising because you need to like transform this model, and yet you get good articulation in general. The only problem is the articulation of the head. You can't really swivel it from left to right because of the back part. Like you can see in the video right now, the back part, you blend, no, not blend, you bend it downwards. And then if you bend it downwards, it won't really swivel from left to right. Other than the head though, the articulation almost feels like a master grade. Actually, the joint parts seems way better than old master grades, especially the knee. I keep on saying the knee because the knee is very sturdy, and sometimes Gunpla could have really flimsy knees and like pelvic joints and even ankle joints. This one, the joints are very sturdy, or it seems like so because it's new, but it seems like so, and it's even better than older master grades. So this one, because of the very good articulation, I can't really like rate it. It's better than high grades, definitely. Better than older master grades, and also better than real grades. Sometimes your real grades, depending on the model, the pelvic joints comes out really easily, and it seems that the parts loosens very fast. This one, everything just feels sturdy and very stable, so it's super nice in terms of playing with it or posing it in different dynamic poses if you want on your or in your display cabinet. So the kit is super good, super cool, but the only caveat is that you have to buy two. Although the model kit looks really good even if it's unpainted because of the color separation and the pre-painted parts, especially the face, the eyes. You don't have to paint the eyes. It looks really good already, but I'm pretty sure if I decide to paint this will look even better. I'll try to give this a quick coat of matte varnish. I'm pretty sure it will look better because of the shiny plastic look. If you don't want that look, just give this a really quick matte varnish and I'm pretty sure it will look really good. Well, also, I'm thinking of doing a bit of panel lines just with Tamiya panel liner so that you get to see some of the details of the model. But then again, I rarely do that. Once I decide to paint, I'll paint. So we'll see. Lastly, you can see that the model kit after assembly looks fairly big, like it's a little bigger than most gunpla kits, 1 is to 100 gunpla kits, and that surprised me a lot because the box is super small. That's it, Pansit. I hope you like this video. Do like, subscribe, and all that stuff because it helps the channel a lot. And until my next video, guys. Bye! If you like this video, you might want to check my other unboxing videos.